Hello Deck fans, Liam here. 7 Days to Die just released a major new update. Now this is the first proper update in at least an entire year. This is another game that feels like it's just going to sit in early access forever, but people still love it. Originally entering early access on Steam in 2013, it's nearly 10 years in early access. It's just crazy. But every big update seems to keep changing major features. So in some ways, each time you go back to it, you need to relearn a whole bunch of it. Anyway, Alpha 21 Stable has finally been released, and some comments previously did ask me to go and check it out and see if it was actually still playable on Steam Deck, and so I had some spare time and I thought, why not? The latest update has so much new in it, it's absolutely insane. There's lots of new artwork, although a fair amount of that you won't actually see on the Steam Deck specifically because it's focused on the higher detail levels. But what you will see is a ton of new item props throughout the world to fill it up more. There's various new types of doors. Small containers will vanish when looted. There's water visual improvements. A whole new hazard system. There's more types of zombies that have their special gore system added to them, so combat should be a lot more interesting. They went back through many different locations and points of interest, and they expanded and overhauled a bunch of them. For the points of interest system, they also updated that, so when you're looking at something and it's a point of interest, it will show you the name and the difficulty tier level of it on the screen. So this means you'll never accidentally wander into a building full of zombies that are going to absolutely curb stomp you. They also upgraded their world generation. The intro is a little bit better for new players. And my favourite feature is the option to respawn near your backpack when you die, which, oh my god, I love it because I die all the time, and the list of other updates just goes on and on. Now, this game is actually noted to be Steam Deck playable. It's playable and not verified, as Valve noted there are some issues with the launcher, which you don't actually need to use. You can just jump straight into the game, and it does load up just fine. Now, the game defaults on Steam Deck to the native Linux version, so it doesn't use Proton, and all the settings are set down basically as low as they can go. Now, for the time that I've been spending it, the only tweaks I've actually done is change the view distance to medium because low was just atrociously bad with the pop-in. And I've also set my deck to 40 Hz, 40 frames a second, because there's quite a lot of areas that drop the performance pretty hard. Even with the 40 Hz lock, 40 FPS, it will still drop in like heavily populated areas, big points of interest, and when you're viewing a new area, as it loads the area in, but for the most part, it's been generally quite good, and a lot of fun actually. I have quite a love-hate relationship with this game, partly because of just how long it is taking, and it has been quite unstable at times over the years. Playing it on Steam Deck though, I have to say I'm actually quite impressed enough to keep on playing it. Now, it's not going to win any awards for how it looks, certainly, but it's such a vast survival game that I can always see and understand why people love it. And there's a lot of people that love it, as it turns out, because the latest alpha has made it shoot up these Steam charts, with it going from somewhere around 30 to 40,000 people playing it to over 80,000. So they've basically managed to double their player base with this patch. Like a lot of bigger games, when they have these big updates, that player base might not hold for long once the initial hype is gone, but it's going down quite well by the looks of it. Now, the good news, of course, is that it does pretty much just work on the Steam Deck. You don't actually need to tweak or change anything, and really that's quite marvellous for another of one of the most popular games available on Steam. For playing it on Steam Deck, you'll get at least 2 hours, maybe a little bit more out of it on battery as well, which is generally about the standard for bigger games, unless you're going to mess about with TDP and so on. And while it may not look AAA, it makes up for it in the amount of content it has and what you can do with it. The absolutely insane bases that you can build in this game are always just really entertaining to see, and there's such a rich modding community for it alive and kicking as well. So if you are after a zombie survival game to cozy up in bed, whether that's alone or with friends to play on Steam Deck, it certainly looks like 7 Days to Die is one to stick onto your wish list. I just hope one day they really do hammer that performance. Historically, it's not been a game that's performed well really anywhere. Even my decently powerful desktop can have a fair few issues with it. So it's even more impressive that it can work to a playable level on something like the Steam Deck. But even with performance being hit and miss, I would say 7 Days to Die is easily one of the best open world zombie survival looter games around. Considering the amount of content and what you can do, I think it's actually priced pretty reasonably as well, with the off-sale price being around £18.99, so it's about $24.99. But right now, during the Steam Summer Sale, it's actually 76% off until July 13th, so you can pick it up ridiculously cheap, and it really does now seem like the perfect time to pick up and play. That sale price is actually just madness for this game. And you know what? For this video, it was actually my first time playing it with gamepad controls, and it actually feels really quite natural here. It's a good fit for this type of game, I think, overall, and I didn't see any actual control issues on Steam Deck at all. One potential downside here is that I don't believe it has Steam Cloud support. I couldn't actually see it listed on the Steam page, and it didn't sync between my desktop and my Steam Deck. From what I read previously from the developer, I don't believe it's in there at all because they actually said that the saves are simply too large. To wrap this up, if I could compare it to anything, it would probably be Minecraft. Now, hold your pitchforks. I know plenty of people probably won't agree with me, but it really does at times feel a lot like Minecraft, only with a very different graphical style. You can destroy basically everything, dig basically anywhere. It's full of zombies, and it has lots and lots of crafting and aimless walking around trying to find a specific ore or a specific thing that you need. It's like Minecraft, but with a much higher age rating. At least that's what I think anyway. Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think it's like? Have you played it on Steam Deck, or are you gonna go and get it now? Let me know. Now, if you'll excuse me, I now have a house to secure. I need to find some feathers, and I've got a lot of zombies to smash. I'll see you later.